guys, Andy here, and I'm here to bring you all things mundane and makeup related. If that's your vibe, I'd love it if you would subscribe to be part of my little slice of the internet. And in today's video, I'm bringing you my July update for the Pile of Shame project pan. So if you want to see the progress that we made on, I'm wearing it, so it's right next to me, the Simply Posh Coastal palette that is on my eyes today, then let's go ahead and get right on into it. So if you've been following along with this project, I've been doing it for a minute now, and it's using Sophie Alexandra's Big Fat Eyeshadow Rules just to narrow down my collection and see if I'm going to declutter or keep palettes in my collection. I create a couple looks. It really just depends on the palette how many looks that I do with said palette. I don't like how you guys are positioned. There we go. And then I grade them to the scale accordingly. They're graded on color story, versatility, quality, and personal ranking out of 1 to 5 per category. Anything that gets a 13 out of 20 or less gets automatically decluttered. So, I did 3 looks with this palette. I'm going to write a sticky note to show you guys photos, because I'm going to try to be better about that. Put photos. Okay, sorry, because if I don't write it down, I'm not going to do it for you guys. But this is the 3rd look, and today I'm using the gray green row and then the brighter teal row. All 6 shades. We'll start with talking about this look, and then we'll move into the other 2 looks, because I have thoughts that kind of change a little bit with each look. This is my favorite look. My inner corner shade for this look and look number 2 are one, they're the same shade. It's Pretties for Your Face Globetrotter, and I just didn't think that there was an inner corner shade for either of those looks. Whereas the first look I did, I used this shade as an inner corner, but again, we'll get to that. But this is my favorite look. It's so murky, and this shade that I used today is my favorite shade in the palette for shimmers. But I think overall, I really like the matte formula, but the shimmers are just disappointing for what they are. Like, I was so excited. They swatch on the hand, so foiled and shimmery and gorgeous, and they're just not as impactful on the eye. They're still, they're still pretty, but they're not as oomph as my single shadows, and that's disappointing. But the mattes are beautiful. But this is my favorite look. I really like this. Beautiful. I will reach into this palette again. Look number 2, which I will put on the screen, was using, I have to think about it, it's this blue row and this pink, this like coral row, all 6 shades. And like I said, I also used Globetrotter as my inner corner shade for that. It was fine. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. It was in the middle. Again, really, I feel the same way. Mattes are great, shimmers were meh. Saltwater is a really pretty shimmer. It's probably my 2nd favorite shimmer. Like, really, these are the only 2 shimmers I actively, like, love. The other ones are just mid. But all the mattes, I loved. I loved every single matte in this palette. So, that's pretty great. And then the very first look, which I'll put on the screen here, was my least favorite. I used this very first row and this, like, orangey row. Which, like, the look ended up coming out really nicely. It came to a very fall, orangey look. But just, it was my least favorite because it was my first time using the palette, and the shimmers were just so ungodly disappointing. This orange shimmer, orange is one of my favorite, orange is my favorite color. Like, burnt orange is my favorite color. But it's one of my favorite colors to wear on my eyes, and this is such a disappointing shade. I ended up topping it with another orange shimmer, and that just made me so sad. So, But overall, really nice. I was really happy. And I ended up getting a no pan left behind on this, which is also good, because I don't do that. I haven't done that in a while. I mean, I did that with the last palette, but that's because it was a 5-pan palette. So, but I don't do that with every palette that we do in this project. So for Color Story, I rated it a 3 because I'm kind of inspired. It's fine. And, like, I probably could have rated it a 4, but, like, it's fine. It's fine. For Versatility, I also rated it a 3. I think it's pretty versatile. I think you can get, you know, some distinct looks out of here. Again, I probably could have also rated it a 4. I was kind of in between a 3 and a 4, but because I was a little miffed about the palette, I'm rating it a 3. For quality, I did give it a 4. It's got great quality, but I couldn't rate it a 5 because of how the shimmers upset me. But I did give it a 4. And personal ranking, I also gave it a 4 because I'm pretty comfy. Love the Color Story. Overall, I'm just a little annoyed about the shimmers, but, like, for the mattes to have impressed me that much, I'm gonna give it a 4. But it got a 14 out of 20, so very close. I mean, I would have changed a number if it would have been a 13, to be wholesale honest. Like, I counted them up because I did not want to declutter this palette. So, 14 out of 20, this is a keep. It's going to go back into my collection, and I'm very happy about that. I did already roll for my next palette, so I will throw that on the screen for you guys. And that is my Glam Light Camp Crystal Lake palette in collaboration with Friday the 13th. Never used this palette, so that is exciting for me. I've also never seen, I've seen the very, very first Jason movie. I did see that last year, but that's it. So, there's that. But this is the Color Story. I'm thinking of doing 2 looks. A look with, like, these 6 and these 6, even though I really do want to use these reds. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. But regardless of what shades I use, I'm thinking I'm going to do 2 looks with this palette. I feel like that would let me really know how I feel about it, is 2 looks. But we'll see. But that is the palette I got, and I'm excited about it. I'm ready for spooky season, so let's do it. But that is going to be my update for the Pile of Shame project pan. I hope you guys enjoyed and appreciate it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.